Okay, there is nothing quite like the comforting smell of freshly baked gingerbread, and this super easy old-fashioned recipe will not disappoint. It's packed with ginger flavor, it's super moist, and topped with a light butterscotch sauce that honestly just takes this gingerbread cake to another level. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 160°C or 320°F with the fan turned on, also known as convection mode, and grease the bottom and sides of a 9x13" cake pan. I'm greasing mine with my homemade cake release, and then I also like to line the pan long ways with some of the parchment paper hanging over the sides. It just makes it so much easier to take the cake out once it's done, if you want to slice it into individual pieces and place it onto a serving plate. Now just set your cake tin aside for now, and next we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 300 grams or 2½ cups of plain all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 3 teaspoons of powdered ginger, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Give that a good stir using a whisk and then just set it aside for now. Now next, in a large bowl, add in 200 grams or 1 cup of firmly packed light soft brown sugar, 57 grams or 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter, 55 grams or 1/4 cup of unflavored vegetable oil, I use canola oil, 140 grams or half a cup of blackstrap molasses. You can use regular molasses too, it'll just make your cake a tad bit sweeter and not as deep in flavor, 1 large room temperature egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then using a whisk, just give that a good mix until it's well combined. Now once that's done, then next you want to add in your pre-sifted dry ingredients from earlier into the wet ingredients and use a spatula or wooden spoon to mix until just combined. The batter will be very thick. Now to finish off the batter, we're going to add in 180 grams or 3/4 cup of hot water. It needs to be very hot, almost boiling, and then using a whisk, gently mix that in until it's just combined. You don't want to overmix it. Okay, now once you're done, your batter should be thin and flowy like this, and now you just want to evenly distribute it into our pre-prepared cake tin. Once that's done, give your cake tin a light bang on the counter to remove any large air bubbles, and now this is going to go into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. So my cake is out of the oven now. I cannot tell you guys how incredible this smells. It's been cooling in the cake tin for about 20 minutes, and now I'm just running a thin knife around the edges to release the cake from the cake tin and using the parchment paper on the sides to lift the cake up out of the cake tin. You can also leave it in the tin too if you prefer. Now you just want to set your cake aside for now, and next we're going to make the butterscotch sauce to go on the top. Now I would actually recommend making this while the cake is baking, just to give it a little bit of time to cool and thicken up before we put it on the cake. Now this sauce is so good, you don't want to skip it, and it's super easy to make. So place a saucepan over a medium heat and add in 100 grams or half a cup of light soft brown sugar, 120 grams or half a cup of whipping or heavy cream, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 1/8 teaspoon of powdered ginger, and 1/8 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Give that a stir and then bring the mixture to a boil, and then continue to let it boil for a few minutes while stirring frequently. Once that's done, take the mixture off the heat and add in 57 grams or 1/4 cup of cold unsalted butter. I like to cut mine into cubes, it just helps it melt a bit quicker, and you just want to stir occasionally until the butter is completely melted and the mixture is nice and smooth. Now you just want to pour the sauce into a bowl, and that's it, it's basically done, and it will continue to thicken up more as it cools. So that is basically our gingerbread cake all done, and it's actually best to have it slightly warm, both the cake and the sauce. So I'm just going to cut the cake into small cubes, take 1 slice and drizzle some of that butterscotch sauce over the top. The good thing is, because the sauce is separate and adds extra sweetness to the cake, you can add as little or as much as you like. This cake is honestly so incredibly soft and moist and just packed with flavor. You guys are going to absolutely love it. It's so, so, so good. The cake itself is just so, so incredibly moist and soft, and that butterscotch sauce honestly just takes this to another level. It just adds that little bit of extra sweetness and creaminess as well. And it just has the most cozy, warm feeling to it. It's just so, so good. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this gingerbread a go, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.